So a little who am I? I think I can keep it brief because you guys.
Do you want someone to switch the slides?
I don't know.
If you want.
I haven't heard of most of this.
Yeah. But I graduated class 4 in NJIT, information technology. I was really good with transfer credit. I wish you guys the best of luck. I hope everything transfers through.
We have to talk about that because you did a lot in the ways of getting credits transferred that would not normally be.
Yeah.
And you argued for them to be
Yeah.
successfully.
Yeah. So, I was able to speak with the department heads and be like, this is a Java programming course. That's a Java programming. Come on, man.
I have to talk to you about that. Yeah.
So, luckily I'm junior by credit. With a year and a half at Bergen, I'm very happy to be junior by credit. That's really good. So that was kind of my goal going into it. I'm glad everything went through nicely. And I'll be 2 years at NJIT. That's my plan. So that's pretty good. All this kind of stuff. Anyone like TDM?
Wait. So you got how many credits? There's 60 credits.
Yeah, I got 66 in, so I have a little less than 60.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's really good.
It's good. It's good. I'm telling you, if you could make a push for like, hey, I got my syllabus, I got this, it should have counted. Why didn't it count? Because I had like 3 classes like that. It all went through after I made a point for it. The main one I was really happy was climatology. I was able to debate that their intro to like environmental stuff, whatever. So it covered my natural sciences. I don't have to do that ever again. So, oh yeah. So why is networking important? You can go right to the next slide. These are the 2 main things that I have to show you guys, which hopefully will sell you because nothing else will. 85% of the jobs that get filled up are through networking, and the #1 way companies recruit people is, by word of mouth. So think of it this way: when you're applying to a job and you're blindly applying on their website or whatever it may be, you're simply just a resume with a bunch of words. When it's someone in the company, even better if it's someone higher up that's going to be there to vouch for you, say, this guy, I've seen the skills he has. You can really put it, into work. Much different because now there's a face to that resume that's also getting attached. So networking is really one of the top ways you could do it. At the past conference, I was just speaking with Matt. At the past conference in Vegas that I attended recently, I was just speaking with people, asking if there's any job positions open in their software companies. And a lot of them were like, yeah, I'll send you an email right after this conference. A lot of them did, and they're like, send me your resume, I'll shoot it right to the HR and stuff like that. So I wouldn't get the opportunity if I just blindly applied, So definitely networking is important, and LinkedIn is one of the top things that can help you network and grow that list of connections. You can go right now. LinkedIn, just to kind of give you guys an idea, I'm sure a lot of you guys know it. It's a social media network that's professional. So the stuff that you'd be posting on Instagram is not something that will fly on LinkedIn. Some people try to do it. I give a quick unfollow because what are you posting your vacation on LinkedIn for? But it's basically where you'll be posting that you graduated, that you got a new job position, things like that. So, you'll be updating your connections, and through that, make some new connections, through stuff that you're doing. So, 9 out of 10 company recruiters use LinkedIn. That's a really good statistic. You should use it too. Yeah. So, why don't we get into the actual hands-on of LinkedIn? So, if you guys want to follow along, you could just pull out your laptops. It's okay, I got it. And I'll take you through what it takes to make your LinkedIn by basically just covering some of the profile sections. So if you guys want to follow along, you can do it. If not, just kind of get an idea. So on LinkedIn, one of the first things that I recommend, especially as students, is to include your education, which is basically like the foundation of your career at the end of the day. A really good statistics is that 10 times more members who list their education get 10 times more views from recruiters and things like that, which is really good. And what you can do is really go in detail such as your school, your major, the type of degree, a BS, AS, and also in the description you can include what are some of the things you did while you were at the top. So
wait, how do I include this?
You can see this person has 2 bachelor's degrees from different universities, and this is where I'll take you guys to my LinkedIn just to give you an idea as to how you could do it as well. All right, so the way you add a section is by pressing add profile section right here. Okay, once you add profile section, you go to add education, and here it's a very simple little form that you could fill out. Okay, you're going to put the school. Okay, and it's going to come down because a lot of the schools have official pages. At least hopefully they do. Bergen has one, so you don't have to worry. You're going to put the type of degree. So you're going to put either Associate of of science, whatever it may be. Field of study, when you started, when you expect to graduate, if you haven't graduated yet, and then you're going to put your final grade. You can leave that obviously till the end until you graduate. Some activities and stuff that you might have done, maybe a description, and this is kind of the extra part. You could add maybe skills you learned while you were in the school, or you could add some kind of media to highlight yourself while you were at the school. So why don't we take it to my education, just to kind of give you guys an idea as to how you
What
can
does
structure
grade
it.
mean?
GPA. Okay, so
Do we want to do that?
this one is pretty plain, obviously, because I just transferred in, but this may be something you guys could, let me just make this extra. Maybe something you guys could follow through. It's usually a template that's followed along by a lot of people. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to put Bergen, it's going to pop up as an official thing, the type of degree you got, how long you were there, the grade, and then here you're going to put the activities and societies you're part of.
Oh, so this is for after we get the degree.
No, you could do it right now, because you could also put something that you expect to graduate from, right? So I've had Bergen since I've been at Bergen, if that makes sense, right? So here at NJT, I have expected graduation, right? So you can put the societies and things you were part of, and then in the description, I added some of the relevant coursework. This is a general template that a lot of people do. And I've also included some of the skills, which I'll get into later as to what skills you do. And just recently I picked up my diploma, so I was able to scan it and put it right on there. So, you know, you could do the same thing, put a little description as to what the picture is, and you should be all set in terms of that. So I don't think that adding your high school is genuinely too bad of a thing on your resume. I wouldn't recommend doing it. But if you had something that you were, you know, very involved in high school, and you know, maybe not for you guys, maybe you don't want to include it. But if it's something recent, maybe something you were part of, material, I'd recommend you put it. Especially if you had some good coursework, you know, stuff like that is pretty nice.
Can you
So-
scroll back up for just a minute?
Yeah. Because it was it unweighted or weight?
That's unweighted.
Unweighted, right? Yeah. Because my school did unweighted. Yeah, so that's kind of how I have mine set up. I think it's pretty solid, gets the job done. Set of the things we did, and try to do them like in order of like what you think is most important.
Put your relevant coursework as a description.
Description, yeah.
What about the skills and media?
The skills and media, I added my associate's degree. I scanned it and I put it on there.
Can I edit this later?
Yeah. No, it's not set in stone.
I'm just going to save it for now, and then I'll do that.
Yeah, like this I added a long time ago. It was like a little slide that they put, a little presentation, or like an award ceremony. So I have that on there for a while now. But, you know, as you're going, if you feel like something's worth putting on there, you'll know if it's worthwhile, you know? So, education, I feel like most important for us. Then, this is a big one, is the photo, okay? So,
Okay.
the reason why the photo is most important,
Beautiful sunset, beautiful man, we're taking a picture.
reason why,
I don't know if it's going to be.
Look horrible.
It's going to be terrible. Contrast going to be awful.
reason why the photo is most important is it's literally like the main thing you see when you try to connect with people. It takes up like the most amount
It's
of
a money
space.
maker.
I'll show you guys at the end. But it gets you 21 times more views. I mean, think about it. If you know someone, and you're searching through some people on, you know, like a connection list or whatever, you see their face, that's it. That's all you
That's
need.
it.
And you press connect. Or if they know your name, you know.
This person didn't look at their face.
Boom.
The person who doesn't know. Oh, I know that person. I know that guy.
3 years ago.
Very basic. You know, gotta be you alone, shoulders up, hopefully smiling if you know. And then neutral background, and you don't need fancy photography. I recommend if you can get a professional headshot, get it. I know Bergen does a couple once in a while.
Do you know what Bergen's doing?
What's up?
Lewis is sponsoring a research project to make a professional photo booth and have the research people actually build it.
Oh wow, there you go. Like not a permanent one though, right? Like a
Yeah,
one.
like a booth, like an established thing to
Gotcha.
stay in the school, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, but definitely the photo is a big thing. You know, whenever it doesn't have to be professional. I've had friends of mine that literally just took it with their phone, portrait mode.
That's what we're gonna do once you're done.
Your photos that I took was literally just the portrait mode, but it looks nice. You know, it doesn't get it got done.
If you take the picture, then it looks nice. I couldn't take that picture. It wouldn't look nice.
Yes. So this thing is honestly the most important. As you can see, the numbers are going up, right? So before it was 21 times more, now it's 36 times. At the end of the day, LinkedIn is an extension of your resume, so you're highlighting what you've done, and your experiences, your paid job positions is what you're going to really be talking about. So this is more catered towards us students. I've had like internships, summer jobs, part-time jobs. Obviously, we haven't had a chance to really go deeper into that kind of stuff. And I feel like it's really important to kind of describe what you did, right? You can put the experience, but description, and even in the next slide that I'll talk about, description is what sells you. At the end of the day, like if you're gonna put you did some kind of thing, can you talk about it, right? So let's go right into show you guys kind of my experience page. Here, I forgot to show you guys my profile thing. Very basic, just heads up from the shoulders up. I took this on the fly, like it wasn't meant to be a headshot, but
It's a candid shot.
it just
Somebody found me.
ended up looking good, and I'm like, why not use it? It's a nice natural background. So,
Very photogenic.
okay, so let's get into experience. So currently I'm a photographer for a local studio in my town, and what you're going to be including there is if it was part-time internship, whatever it may be. How long you've had it, that will automatically be calculated based on like the start date and end date. And you could also, if you're going up the corporate ladder, it showcases that, right? So let's say if you I started as a production associate, really just helping out with setups. That was for 4 months right here, this section, and then it goes up. So if you look at some big dogs, is like LinkedIn, you see them like CEO, So it's actually pretty cool to look at. And let me just open up these guys. Here's where you're going to be describing kind of what you did. I recommend bullet points. I think gets the job done quicker, kind of like a resume. Just getting as much as you can. So, quantitative stuff is really important. If you could showcase
Numbers,
that.
they love those numbers.
Yeah. So, photographing 50 students a day, leading the team, syncing up the hardware with the cloud, the software that we have, and communicating. So you see kind of the main skills you should have in the job. I try to get it in there. And then also have some skills, as well as some media. I don't think media is needed. I just think it's nice. So I added some, company pictures that we have, which is like the crew, and then we have the photographers right here, right? So you don't have to, but you can include it. And I did the same thing here, right? But this is more just setup based. And over here, I included just a little quick video of the setup. So if anyone's interested, they can check that out. That's put on my Google Drive with a link.
I'm sorry,
Yeah, that's the high school we went
that's
to.
the high school.
I put a Drive link that's shared to everyone. So that seems like the best place to store files if you're interested. Seems to work pretty well. And then got social media intern right here. Same thing, bullet points. You guys might want to look at the Bergen one. Yeah, I got 2 things, obviously. Let's see if I could zoom out.
Look at this beautiful sunset that we get every
It's
night.
2006.
Yeah, I looked at it.
What a nice beautiful sunset it is.
It's cool. I can show it to you.
So, one thing I like about LinkedIn is, although you can keep it brief, you don't really have to. As your resume, you need to keep it 1 page. You can really tidy up. Here you could go a little deeper. So on my resume, even though I have this, it's 2 bullet points. Here it's more. So here I put that I was a student mentor. I put the logo of the Turning Point program. You don't have to. Again, the media, I feel like it's extra. I really just talk about where it was on site, it was for a year. If you can get positions for longer, definitely a good thing, Put some bullet points, and then here I have the Bergen Rat stuff that we did, software developer, took part in software development, research project Bergen Rats, put the goal of the project, put main responsibilities like front-end programming, teamwork, collaboration, professional research, presentation, you know, whatever you did. So for you, Matt, it would be more back-end stuff, you know, so you could, especially because you got it long, you know, so I don't recommend like splitting it, that you did summer and, I think you should keep it as one, you know, but for me, I was able to put like May to July. It's not the greatest looking thing, but it's kind of like a summer internship in a way too, you know?
You know, as in the tech fields, they want to see that when
Yeah.
you have a higher chance of getting another one in the future job.
Exactly, yeah. So, and this is kind of some freelance photography I was doing for a company. So I put the link to their website, stuff like that. But that's kind of how your experience is going to be based. And the way it's structured is whatever's like your most recent position is going to be at the top, you know, and at the bottom is going to be the farthest one. Okay, so we got experience done, and next is going to be volunteer experience.
Still working on jobs.
You guys might be thinking like, I don't think I should include volunteer stuff, but in reality, around 41% of hiring managers consider volunteer experience as being equal with job experience simply because they know we don't have the chance to work during our, you know, education. So it's actually pretty important, especially if you had a big role, you know, that you dedicated yourself to. And I feel like at Bergen, you get the chance to do that a lot, you know. So stuff that I have on mine is, you know, president of the club, being, you know, VP for PTK, things like that, where you could really show that you, even though you weren't getting paid, it was still like, you know, a serious thing. So here I'll show you guys the volunteer stuff.
This is separate garage doors.
Right here.
Okay, for that, I was getting paid
A little hard to see, I don't know if you
cash.
Yeah, so I have
What I'm
VP
saying
of
is-
communications, and you could sort them using this little button right here. Okay, so if you don't like the order of it, well, it's going to be highlighted. Really only 3 are shown off like a little preview unless they open up more. So make sure the top 3 are the big ones. So I got VP of communications, and here I kind of went for like a paragraph rather than a bullet point, but you don't have to.
Secretary, like a little.
It's the same idea, that's what the field it is, social services.
Like Jewel.
And then June to December, about how long we were, you know, involved. Computer Tech Club. I was able to make a little page for us, so if you want to include it, you can put it in. It's actually going to show the logo, you know. So nice little thing. Put student government. But I was a senator.
It's good, we can read it, it's not that bad.
You're not doing the right one. Oh, there you go, there you go.
That's perfect. And then these are some stuff from before. You know, this is more like community service based. The other ones were kind of volunteer positions. This is like stuff that I was helping out with, where I was a soccer mentor,
Yeah, that's just full.
city cleaner, things like that, you know. So volunteer experience is pretty important. Same way you would include it on your resume if it actually means something, you know. I know you included VP of communication, I mean, the director of business, yeah. So, you know, it's pretty nice.
It smells like a pool.
You ever drink it?
No.
You get like the shakes. You get the shakes. I smell it. I know exactly what
I
it is.
read it.
It's crazy, Peter, you gotta smell this, it's
I
like.
know, Jacob.
What is it? Oh, I actually, it's
The next thing I want to talk about is skills. Okay, so
If you're drinking like one every other week.
Really?
the way I want to highlight skills is think of it as, you know, there's going to be a million other computer science students. Okay, so when a job recruiter searches computer science students, they already completed the degree, it's going to be a list of millions of students. When you add skills to your profile, and when you do all of these sections, all it does is climb you up that list. Okay, so whenever a recruiter searches computer science student, most likely they're going to see like MIT, like whatever. But you could also be up on that list if you're working on your LinkedIn actively, showing, you know, that you have what it takes. So what skills do is you can include, you know, some of the things that you're proficient in, and it says like if you had 5 or more skills, you get 17 times more profile points. So that's pretty good right there. So an example, if you know Java programming, you know, you can put it on there. And these could be skills you learn in school or outside of school, right? So here I'll show you guys kind of how I have it structured.
Like actually test it.
Okay, so these are some things I've included. You know, we got SQL, I got Canva. You know, I worked with it the whole time with here, so why not? CSS, Python, you know, IT operations, HTML, UI, communications. These are a little more basic. I added these way in the beginning, but you know, it's kind
You got a
of
lot of endorsements.
7 months. And that's another thing I wanted to talk about. Whenever someone visits your page, they can open up your skills and really like press endorse, and also highlight why they're endorsing you and where they getting this information from. Did they work with you? They're going to highlight that. So you know, it looks pretty nice when you know someone
Do
actually
you ask
endorses
them
you.
to go and like?
No, it's for those. I mean, it's only 6, 7. It's really just people that have popped in, and usually you repay the favor if they endorse
Right,
you.
right.
You know, so you go ahead and do that.
Yeah,
Guys, we have to start.
Oh, that's right.
Listen, look at this. You know what I have? Nothing.
And these are the things I want to talk about. You could put this skill, let's say like CSS, you could put it with a certain experience that you have,
That's good.
right? So it's kind of like, think of it as like proof or backup as to you're saying, yeah, man, I'm good at CSS. Okay, where'd you do it? Right here. Okay. Another thing you can connect it to is any of the certifications, which I haven't gone into. You know, use that as backup. And lastly, this is an important one. LinkedIn itself has proficiency exams that you could take, and it's basically multiple choice timed on a rapid fire. You're trying to get them done, and if you pass it, it says that, and usually it's a nice little, you know, given that you knew what you were doing, right? So, if you want to do like LinkedIn tests, LinkedIn assessments, you could kind of go into here, and let's see, well, somewhere around here, where you know you could just search up LinkedIn assessment, demonstrate skills, right? Demonstrate skills. Let's say you want to go into skill assessments, and there's a lot of ones. I think you could get a couple out easily, you know, like PowerPoint, Microsoft Word, really just, it's going to be basic questions, rapid fire, just to kind of give you guys an idea. Here you go. Because you could practice too, and it's kind of like this. You know, try to answer that question. So, how would you ensure a uniform appearance and placement across the slides, even though the content might be different? I don't know, maybe use styles. Oh man, those consistent layouts, right? You just kind of finish it out like that. And you can practice that, and it doesn't really hurt your actual demonstration, which you'll do, but that's just to give you guys an idea.
Powerful form of like being endorsed or showing that you improve your skills. What do you think the most powerful form of that is? You think it's doing the tests or getting the endorsements?
I think endorsements are really good, especially when you rack up numbers on them. You know, I've seen people with like 60 plus and more, you know, but those are like people that have had the chance to, you know, show them. I think the certifications are a good one, which I'll get into.
Especially for IT. I feel like that's
Yeah,
very important for IT.
for sure. And next one is the summary. This one that I took the longest to put on my thing because I was kind of like not really comfortable with like talking about myself too easily. So it kind of just like
This is stuff outside of what you've already done.
right. No, so
We're not
what?
talking about the same stuff, right?
What a summary is basically giving an introduction to a recruiter who's going in, because it's going to be at the top, right under your name and picture, and they're going to read this and they're going to expect to see this in the screen.
Okay.
Right? So I have, you know, this took me a minute, but it's like, you're an undergraduate IT student, what you aspire to be, what's your passions, where are you now, stuff like that is something you could put into where you graduated. You know, I put like transfer from Bergen. And you can also put some skills and also what you want to do in the near future. So here I put like, I want to get an internship or a co-op that'll get me, you know, into the field better. So an about section is really good. It took me a while. Maybe you guys feel more comfortable, you know, kind of just talking about what yourself and like
That
how
might be
you
good
want.
to do first.
Yeah, well, for me it was kind of like
Yeah.
flipped, you know. So that either you could base everything you're putting in there off of that, or you could make that off of what you've already put in. So I had it flipped, right? But yeah, an about us section is pretty good. And you'll see when you make a new account, LinkedIn will give you a bunch of check marks that you should do, and a summary is one of them, you know, to have like a full account. Okay? And lastly, I kind of wanted to show you some extra credit stuff. So I feel like the other things I mentioned were the main parts, but then these are also good things that you could highlight into your actual LinkedIn. So we got languages first. As you might expect, it's just, you know, what languages can you speak? So Bergen has a lot of international students or, you know, students from abroad. So definitely, you know, if you know a language, you could absolutely put it in here. I lived in Macedonia for 10 years, so I'm native in Macedonian as well as, you know, English. And I took Italian all of my high school days, so I can maybe make some elementary sentences. And Serbian, pretty close to Macedonian, so I know a good amount of things with it. So definitely something to highlight, you know, and especially if you have Spanish under your belt, here it's huge, you know, so we got some people out here. Next is honors and awards. This is pretty much catered to us as students because it's kind of what's going to highlight, you know, your time in school. So maybe you guys could base yours off of mine. This is going to give you an idea. If you're doing honors classes, definitely highlight that. If you're in PTK, absolutely highlight that. I was able to get my essay published to the Beacon conference. So I'm a Beacon scholar, and I explain it there. This is another one, the AP Scholar Award. That's from high school. It's just an old thing. And then what's the last one? The STEM Student Scholar. As you can see, it's on the bottom because technically I haven't received it yet, but hopefully, you know, everything works out with your mentor. Sure. That's the only last thing. But that should be all good in terms of that. But it's a place where you can highlight, you know, yeah, you know, this guy was actually doing some good stuff. Also, you could put Dean's List on here. Actually, I just kind of thought about
I
that.
have a Dean's List elsewhere.
Did I have it?
Yeah,
Okay.
you had it in the
Okay.
education section.
Oh yeah, I had it in like societies and activities. You could put it there. Yeah, but I think you could put it in here too.
I would
It's
say
technically an honor.
It's probably the
you know.
best place for
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So definitely a good one. And the next one is courses. Same way you kind of highlighted it in your actual section for education. You could put it in here too and really go deeper into it, where a recruiter could potentially actually open up the section, see what it's about and stuff like that. So I have the courses listed here. I have at the bottom CS 100 from NJT because I just got that one. And then I'll definitely include the other ones at the end of this. So as you go in deeper, most likely you're going to cut off some of the basic ones. Like I have Intro to IT, that's probably getting out soon.
With any luck, you probably want to get rid of the burden stuff.
Oh, of course, yeah. But if there's, you know, there's good names in there too, some database stuff. Or maybe you could be sly and say, whatever transferred over
Graduated
counts
from
as
school with these
counts as
credits.
NJT.
Yeah, yeah.
You could do that as well. And then licenses and certifications. This is kind of something I've been hitting on this whole time. And what that is a place where you could show, you know, your credentials. So here you can see I have database design, database programming with SQL. At the end of our database course, I was able to get some certifications, so I popped them right on there. I did this one recently, just a little Canva, you know, certification, just to kind of have some proof. These things we did over the summer, the IBM ones. Web Dev Fundamentals, some AWS. You guys probably know this one.
3SP stuff.
Yeah. And like I said, I've been using Google Drive to just share the link for everyone, and it works really well because it's pretty much always open. You know.
Nice.
I think you have this one on your resume, so you know, that's something to
It
do.
was mentioned, but we still haven't gotten it because we were inducted.
Yeah.
So wait, do you get those at the end?
Yeah,
Is
they
that
would
how it
give us
works?
you because you transferred. You get them at induction.
Got it.
Yeah.
Because I literally just reached out to Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, Google Drive seems to work best, but other things like Coursera have it linked to their actual website for proof. Actually, no, wait, hold on. There's like one. This one actually takes to Solo Learn itself, you know. So it depends on your accreditation, you know, company.
Right, because they have like their own websites just for like,
Yeah.
accredited certificates, right?
Yeah. So, like I said, and then featured section and recommendation. Okay, so the featured section is the thing that's going to be right under your about us. Okay, and when I see this as is just a place that you want your attention directed to. What are some of the main things about it, right? So, if you've ever been highlighted on some page, I was able to get highlighted on very easy, so I've had that like this. I recently popped this onto there. I feel like it's pretty important. But one that I see the most often is people have their resume right there. You know, I'm looking to do that as well. I think probably one of the best places to go.
Right there.
Exactly, you got about, you got your resume, and then if they want to go deeper, they have everything else, you know, so definitely featured is nice. Also, if you get published, 100% put it on there, you know. If you look at, what is it? If you look at Sultan's, he put on his publication right there, you know, so definitely something you could include.
Peter, I'm gonna have to go get food before class.
Gotcha.
No, everybody.
And last,
What did they posted? Who did that?
I gotta show you
A
my
bunch
car
of
at some
people
point.
did.
It'll
A
be
bunch of
interesting.
people
It's
did. They all sent it to me.
hilarious. It's a
I should
riot,
have been
like,
one.
Well-
it's
I
really
posted.
like, it's like a
and last but not least,
Was it you in the
Alright, I'll
picture?
get you.
Yeah, it's me. Yeah, it's all me. Yeah.
Wait, are you gonna be tomorrow?
no.
Okay, I'll see you whenever.
last but not least is recommendation. I actually just like did this a week ago. I found out that you can ask people to give you a little recommendation.
Just like your boss or something.
Bosses, people you work with, work for, anything like that. So this is the guy I did freelance photography for. This is the owner of the nonprofit that I interned at. So all it is very simple. It actually writes the prompt for you. I mean, you could change it if you want, but you just do ask for a recommendation, put who you want to do. So let's say I want Matthew. Oh my God. So let's say I want Matt to give me a recommendation. What did we do? Let's say worked in the same group, position, and then I do software developer. And then, hi Matthew, would you please write me a recommendation? Or you could change it if you want to, you know, but simple as that, and it's very easy for them. All they do is just write it in, and then prove if you want to put it on there. So in case somebody writes something bad,
Right.
at least you have a little check on there. So this is nice, you know, and you can also give recommendations, even if it's like a peer of yours, just why not? You know, it helps them, helps you, why not, you know? So that's something I just did like this week, just to test out the waters, so I'm working on that. So now that you've had your profile, what do you actually use LinkedIn for? So there's three main things that I could really highlight that you could use LinkedIn for. First is to make connections. And as you can see, this is an example of how your profile looks in a list of those connections, right? Again, picture takes up majority of it, right? You got your name, your little headline, and how many mutual connections you have. This guy has 50 mutual connections. Maybe somebody I should know, maybe 3, maybe not so much, right? Of course, always try to go for people that you know or know of, and that you are inspired by. Don't just shoot for like randoms, because you're just going to clutter up your connections, and it's not going to be as efficient. Next thing is LinkedIn has kind of like a Indeed style job search and job application section of it, which you can definitely make the most of right here. It gave me a recommendation. Hey, information technology internship for the New Jersey courts. 20 school alumni work there. Should be interested, right? And you can check it out. Open it up, you can bookmark it or anything like that, and you can also apply, right? So you post your resume on there, and it's a nice little job application portal.
That's great.
And the last one here, this guy is the CEO for a photography software company, and I met him at the conference. And I'm like, this guy's a big shark, why not, you know, connect with him? So simple as this, using the LinkedIn messaging system. Hello, I attended the conference and would like to connect with you. And when you add a message, when you try to connect with people, it's much more effective, right? You're not just blindly connecting with people. Not always will you get accepted, fair enough, especially if it's some big name, you know, but this guy, you know, reached out back, so it was good. And then once you connected with them, you know, the floor is yours. You can do whatever you want. You can be like, you know, are there any open positions? This is a direct contact with the CEO now, right? It's different than trying to message support or whatever it may be, right? So I think it's really important to try to use the networking, you know, possibilities they have. And also you get reached out by randoms too. Most of the time it's fake and like probably not too good to be true. I'll show you guys some examples, but it's pretty nice overall. And the running joke with LinkedIn is that here you guys go. This is kind of how it looks. Right? Recommendation, and they would write it right there. Okay. And then boom, boom, boom. See, so I did that a couple times for the conference. And here's my boy Mateo. All right.
What is this?
And the funny thing about LinkedIn, or the running joke, is that it has like autofill feature.
Yeah.
And it's just a professional tone. But that's something you'll notice. Every time someone posts, I graduated from Bergen, the comments will be like, amazing job. It's wonderful. Looking, looking forward to whatever you do. When in reality, it'd be like, not low that focus.
Yeah.
Like, gotta try to keep professional. So this is all just,
Just messing around.
auto set, so that's a funny thing about LinkedIn. At the end of the day, it's like a professional social media, but that kind of gets corny sometimes.
It is a
It's
little
kinda-
silly.
It's kind of funny, yeah. So, yeah. So, there you could also say hello, say whatever, and you have people reach out to.
He said Brody, LMAO.
Yeah, yeah. This is like a guy reached out to me from like what was it, Meta, for an apprentice thing, and I didn't look into it too much. It wasn't like
Not a your bag.
but you might get reached out for things like this. Otherwise, it might also be like just some basic job opportunities, nothing crazy, but they're gonna come once in a while. So-
You never know when you can get mailed now by something.
Yeah, so here you go. This is kind of how you do it. You go to My Network, right? Jobs is where it's kind of like the Indeed style. Messaging is here. And when you go to My Network, what I like about it is you could see some people come up right here, right? So that's kind of how it looks like. Okay. But if you want to get specific, you could then instead be like, just plain search, right? Just enter, right? And once you've entered, then you could filter. So you could be like, okay, companies. Okay, let's say they work for, no. People, right? You're looking for people who then work for Google. Okay, and then also, say NJ IT. Works for Google and 110 JIT. A list of people who work at Google and 110 JIT.
That's great.
Right? And let's see, do we got a Bergen person? This would be pretty cool. There you go. So that's the good part about it. And yeah, kind of wraps up everything. I'll share the slides. I mean, Matt, you have them. Just send them through.
We're gonna post them.
Yeah. So